know, the president's thinking about signing an executive order where he wants to take your guns away. You hear it this way. This is the new. Not going to happen. That won't happen. But that's a tough one. I think that's a tough one for him to do. When you actually have the Second Amendment, that's tough. Because there's plenty of executive orders being signed. You know that. And we can't let that go on.
Donald Trump telling a crowd in Anderson, South Carolina, that President Obama is planning some big changes when it comes to guns. The president is considering executive action that will impose new background check requirements for buyers. Let's talk about that now. First, checking in from Eagle, Idaho via Skype, renowned firearms attorney Alexandria Kincaid. And Alexandria is the author of the book, Infringed. And joining us via Skype and telephone, criminal defense attorney Geoffrey Nathan, who checks in from Boston. It's good to have you both here. Alexandria, the president wants to treat anyone who sells over 50 guns a year as a gun dealer. Can he really take executive action to change that designation?
I think he's stepping into new territory if he's going to use executive actions to try to do that, JD. It's beyond the bounds of what an executive order would actually be used for.
And so conceivably you go to court and try to challenge it, or if he issues it and it's printed, it has the effect of law, does it not?
It does, but Congress and the courts could both nullify it. The problem is we would be stuck with it for a period of time until that happens.
Geoffrey, your take on it. Can the president do this legally?
The president can try to do whatever he wants. That's why he was voted the president. Legally, he can do it, and then it would be subject to Congress and the Supreme Court to decide whether or not what he did was legal. But that authority that he has is overwhelmingly broad and is used sparingly. So in that instance, he might get away with it, J.D.
I don't know if he's using it so sparingly. Geoffrey, let's go to another Democrat who wants to be president. Hillary Clinton actually says we should look to Australia, where weapons were confiscated from average citizens by the tens of thousands. Do you think Hillary's Australian approach is a good one, Geoffrey?
That's not going to work here. We got too many people here, and we got too many guns. So as a consequence, that's just not going to work. What we need is greater supervision of those people who do have guns. That's my answer.
Alexandria, don't Hillary's comments validate what the NRA has maintained all along, that the real goal of gun control supporters is, in fact, gun confiscation?
Correct. I think she's bringing it out, and she's not being shy about it. They do want to take our guns, and I don't think the people of America are going to let them. Most of the Democratic candidates were pretty proud to spew a lot of rhetoric during the debate, but the reality is the people aren't going to stand for that.
You know, Geoffrey, I think a lot of people are just concerned that if the government gets in the way, it's going to be harder for everyday Americans to protect themselves and their families. Would you agree with that assertion?
I do agree, and I think it's a fallacy to suggest that government intervention is going to cure, as to the gun itself, is going to cure the problem of mass shootings. The problem with mass shootings has nothing to do with the fact that guns are available in the United States. It has to do with other issues having to do with mental health availability, and frankly, as I said earlier, to bad parenting. I mean, let's face it, the mass shootings that have occurred in the United States are all due to the fact that individuals with significant mental health problems are not being treated appropriately for their medical condition, and that has nothing to do with the fact that there should and will always be gun availability in the United States.
This is remarkable. We end on a note of agreement. Geoffrey Nathan in Boston, Alexandria Kincaid in Eagle, Idaho. Again, Alexandria's book is titled Infringed. Now, you heard their take on the Second Amendment. We'd like to get yours. If you'd like to comment, I'd love to hear from you. Log on to your computer, go to newsmaxtv.com/comments, and your thoughts may get on the air. When we come back, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Israel, all the turmoil in the Middle East. J.D. Gordon and Ryan Morrow will join us to discuss the international situation as Newsmax Prime continues here on Newsmax TV.